Hello everyone, welcome to a new quarter here at Rasmussen College. My name is Carissa Arley and I'm going to be your professor for both online and residential in the lab. Now our lab will meet on Wednesdays. If you are normally a morning student, you're going to stay a morning student, and that's going to be, our lab's going to be from 12 to 3:35. If you're an evening student, we're going to meet from 5:45 to 9:20. So nothing really different. If you're used to being an evening student, you're going to stay an evening student. A couple of things that I would like you to take a look at prior to coming to class on Wednesday. Please take a look at the calendar that I set up within the Angel platform. This calendar is already preset with all of your due dates for quizzes, exams, discussions, responses, projects. All of that is already put into Angel and into that calendar from now until the end of the quarter. So please take a look at that so that way you can be ahead of schedule with everything and you can know when things are coming and it won't be a shock to you. The first thing that I know will throw everyone off is I've actually kind of changed a little bit of when your discussion posts are due. I'd like you to have those done by Tuesday at midnight instead of Wednesday. The reason being is I want to hold an open discussion forum within our lab class to kind of talk about the discussion and get some good feedback from your partners and your classmates. And then you'll still have to do your responses, but I want to have that good communication in between classes and with one another within the class. So again, please make sure that your discussion posts are going to be due, the initial post is due on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, the other thing for this week, and I know it's going to make a lot of you very angry, and I do apologize, I have no control over this, is this week you will have 2 written assignments that will be due on Sunday. Please take a look at them though, because I have put in a rubric for each written assignment so you kind of understand and know what to expect and what I'm looking for within the paper. Okay, so make sure that before you submit, you take a look at that rubric so you know if you're following what is required of you. Alright, the other thing that I want to do in these little videos is I want to kind of give you an overview of what chapters you are supposed to read. So let's start with Chapter 1. So Chapter 1 is really dealing with professionalism in the clinical and medical setting. So what that means is I want you to be able to understand what professionalism is, what exactly makes a professional, what makes them who they are and how they act. And professionalism is not something that you just wake up one morning and have. You have to work at it. So kind of understand what it takes to work towards being a professional. The other thing about Chapter 1 that's really important is understanding that you work within the scope of the Code of Ethics. Understand what your Code of Ethics is as a AA member. So when you become that certified medical assistant, what Code of Ethics do you follow? And that can be found in your books. So make sure that you take a look at that prior to coming to class so that way we can maybe have a discussion about the Code of Ethics as well. Okay? Now, when we actually get into talking about what professionalism is, they broke it down into 2 sections. You have the internal journey that you're going to go through, and you have an external journey. In the internal journey, you're going to have a lot of, I believe it's 6 different keys, as they call them, to unlocking the door to internal professionalism. So what I mean by that is you're going to have to make sure that you are dependable, that you have a good attitude, you're tactful, you have integrity, compassion, and you make it the initiative. So make sure that you look at each of those 6 keys prior to class because I want to talk about them and I want you to give me examples of how you can integrate those and how you can actually build on those keys. So that's your internal journey. Now your external journey has 5 keys. So those 5 keys are your education. They're also your communication skills, your appearance, the service that you give, and the credentials that you have. Those are the keys for the external journey to making you an external professional. But in order to be a well-rounded professional, you have to have both sets, both internal and external. So make sure that you read that chapter prior to coming to class, because I want to talk about that. I want to get you guys' opinions on that. I want you to give me examples of how you can be a professional, what exactly is required of being a professional, and some of the ways that you can make yourself be a better professional. Now, you also have Chapter 10, and what that's really dealing with is the infection process and biohazard materials and how we clean those materials up and what's a bloodborne pathogen. Take a look at Chapter 10. You don't have to go very in-depth with it because we will be actually having a PowerPoint in class where I kind of go over what bloodborne pathogens are, how we keep ourselves from obtaining them, and all the different tips and tricks, there we go, for dealing with bloodborne pathogens and cleaning them up. But do make sure that you know the chain of infection. It's very important because you're going to see that on quizzes, you're going to see that on exams, you're going to see it on your final. Please make sure that you understand the chain of infection. It starts with your causative agent. It goes to your reservoirs. Then it goes to your portal of exit. You got to have a way to transmit it. So you have to have a mode of transmission. And then you also have to have a portal of entry. You got out somehow, you got to get in somehow. And then you have to have another susceptible host. So please make sure that you look over those and understand what the difference is between each chain of that infection. The other thing I want you to make sure that you are aware of is the stages of infection. There are different stages. First stage being your invasion and multiplication stage. Your second stage is your incubation stage. Then you go to your prodromal stage, and then that's the end of it. Okay, so you need to make sure that you know those different stages and what happens during each of those stages. It's very important because it's going to actually determine when doctors can say, okay, they're at this stage of an infection or they're at this stage of the infection. Okay? All right, guys, I'm very excited to meet all of you, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday evening or Wednesday morning. Again, please make sure you take a look at that calendar. I've also sent you a welcome email. And check out my student lounge. I've given you a little bit of my background and myself and made myself a human. All right, guys. See you Wednesday. Goodbye.